our tip of the week, which is courtesy of The New Yorker, which has done a list of things that will be acceptable for journalists to write about candidate Donald Trump once he has managed, if he follows through on his suggestion that he is going to, quote, open up those libel laws. The New Yorker has a helpful list of things that will be proper under a Trump libel law regime, such as Donald Trump has good ideas. I agree with President Donald Trump. Donald Trump knows money. He's great with money, the best. His house is gold. I'm off to write Donald Trump a nice letter. Other such things in the same vein, all alluding, of course, to the fact that among the various eye-opening things that candidate Donald Trump has been saying is a notion that here's his exact quote: "We're going to open up those libel laws. So when the New York Times writes a hit piece, which is a total disgrace, or when the Washington Post, which is there for other reasons, writes a hit piece, we can sue them and win money instead of having no chance of winning because they're totally protected." So I think that suffice it to say that Donald Trump's understanding of the libel protections for journalists is a bit flawed. If you're wondering about laws that he plans to change, there's one that he's said that he wants to. Any thoughts on this, Marty?
Well, I think you know that I had that one-liner, that here we have the party of small government wanting to federalize libel law. Mm-hmm. That was my initial reaction to that.
Yes.
I mean, I have a lot of reactions to that. Some of which, I mean, there is a economics professor named Tyler Cowen, Cowen, and he wrote one of the underreported aspects of the prospects of a Trump presidency, which is that one thing we kind of don't worry about all that much is what he refers to as the vindictive regulator. I don't doubt that certain regulated industries have a certain fear of speaking out against the agencies that regulate them. And we know that there are allegations that agencies, in particular the IRS, have what's referred to as political agendas. I don't know the underlying facts as to whether, the IRS did target the Tea Party, for example, but we know we have those allegations and we have fears. We know that Trump threatened Fox on multiple occasions with regards to the content and quality of their coverage, so that the threat to open up libel laws is consistent with the somewhat reasonable apprehension that a Trump presidency would have the vindictive use of a regulatory apparatus. So I'll leave it at that.
That's an uplifting thought to leave our Friday on. Mike, can you give us anything more optimistic to think about this, or no?
I don't know if I have anything more optimistic to say. I mean, when he says open up these libel laws, I think what he's saying is we're going to have to roll back the First Amendment, because under New York Times v. Sullivan, of course, if you're a public figure, you have to show that there's actual malice associated with the publication about you. So as I understand it, that's kind of been the law of the land since 1964. So I'd say Mr. Trump may have quite an uphill battle in getting past that and opening up those libel laws, to put it in his words.
Right. Hey, do you see any parallel between what you just mentioned, the standard of being a public figure? You have a heightened level of proof of wrongdoing in a defamation case. Do you see any parallel there between what we were talking about earlier with these right of publicity cases and the protections of a public, well-known performer versus an average citizen?
No, I mean, to me, I kind of look at those as two distinct issues. I mean, when we're talking about libel in the context of a New York Times v. Sullivan case, we're talking about a tort that has been committed against a person that has somehow defamed them or has somehow portrayed them in a false light. When we're talking about right of publicity, we're really talking about the commercial use of someone's name, image, or likeness. So, I mean, to me, they're fairly separable, and they're in two distinct legal arenas, essentially.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I just always have been fascinated by this notion that our law makes distinctions based on whether you're a public figure or not, and I think that's getting harder to put one's finger on. Well, certainly Donald Trump is, so it wouldn't be hard in this situation.
If there ever was one, if there ever was anyone that invited it.
Yes, exactly.